Like I did not feel how Austin Odhiambo will maybe have impacted the team. I'm sorry to say, because he's a player from Gor Mahia. He earned his call up, yes, because in the recent games he had not been called because there were some issues that he had been facing. But now when he was called back again, he was given a game. He didn't pull in all the muscle that he's supposed to pull in and everything. But maybe I'd give him that. Maybe let's go now with the Senegal game. The one that we lost. Let me just first say I'd like to just congrats the Senegal team. If they ever get this, I'd like to.
It's quite a good margin.
Yeah. They scored us 8-0, and let's say they killed the game by first half because they had already scored us 6 goals.
Yeah,
6 goals.
In the first half.
Sadio Mane had a hat-trick. Diouf also had a goal. There were also noticeable strikers. All of them, if you could have noticed them, all of them play in international leagues. Scored.
True.
So I just like to say maybe there is a quality that we are lacking by a big margin. Because yes, we called Kupai. Yes, we called. There is also we called quite a number of. The same. But the quality gap is quite high, and maybe let me not play the quality card, but let me also play the technicality as well. The technicality, the formation, we were quite lacking also there because we stuck to like one formation, but when we were like by the first half, when it was on the 43rd minute, we were so confused. We did not even know what was happening in the game because already we were killed off. Our tempo was killed off and everything, and then it is so demoralizing to be scored so many goals, 16, and you don't even have a chance even to score.
And that is in the first half apparently.
Yeah, that's in the first half, and that really tells you a lot. And then there is the quality of our defense. I'm sorry to say, but I felt like our defense really
let us down.
It's like the basics were even lacking. The tackling, the blocking, the man marking.
And some of the goals were outrageous, man.
Yeah, some of the goals were outrageous. Like, how do you even let a guy score 3 goals? You should be marking him. He's a danger man. And then, we also dribbled past. There were also a few nutmegs, which were like hilarious. I even don't know what to say because I was a bit tongue-tied because I actually watched the game till first half, then I just switched on KBC because I was now like...
You had given up on the team?
I had given up. There is no way we could have done a comeback. Maybe Moja Machosi, but it did not even happen. So,
before we come to... Let us talk about... I want us to come back to the team selection first of all. Because at the end of the day, a team that you call up determines how you play.
Yes.
And of course, as much as I don't question the idea of the coach maybe leaving Wakina Olunga out, the experienced players, I feel like sometimes he'll just do that. But I also understand his point. In the game against Uganda, he lost 3-0. The team that played in Chando ingefaa kucheza pale, wakasema watu wa foreign players, they're not doing anything. So if you look at this particular squad, the coach trusted the homegrown players, and you saw what happened. This was like a message from the coach to the fans that let me do my work. If I can deduce that from that, because the complaints are now team ya kuchani ilienda wapi kwa nini team imperform, and he did that. Walileta hapo na tuko vitu kuonyesha. So I feel like it is high time. Do you think it is high time the fans just kept quiet and let the coach do his work?
Yes. I'd really like to say yes, because Benfica is quite experienced. He wasn't called for nothing. He wasn't called for nothing. He was under 16 coach for Manchester United. So he has experience. Because I'd like to believe he had coached the likes of Garnacho.
Exactly.
And everything. So he sees far beyond us. And I'd like to say that if a coach can have something to do and wacha coach afanye tu kazi yake kama coach.
Exactly.
Kiasi pia sisi kujifanya sisi ni makocha wengine and everything, and we have never even coached a team. At the end of the day, we are all just fans. But the coach knows what he sees in training and what he sees there. You see, and then there's that type of also the players that were called as well. I know when all the Gor Mahia players were called, I know it was a bit biased, but at the end of the day, I'd like to say that maybe it's not a bit biased, but maybe it's how God plays, how God scores, how God keeps a clean sheet and everything. Maybe the coach saw that, but when it comes to the gelling with other players from foreign players and how they play and everything, maybe we didn't just click, we didn't just gel, we didn't just play like a team the way we're supposed to. Because now, when let's say for example, you're not used to our goalkeeper throwing you the ball, to passing the ball to you. Maybe you're used to the goalkeeper playing long balls, and everything. And maybe let's say you're not used to a holding midfielder that plays like a pivot. Maybe you're used to a defensive midfielder that maybe goes for tackling, low blocks, commanding and everything. Maybe your pivot is a bit slow and everything. So yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
And you've touched on something that I want to touch on. The fact that Gor Mahia had a total of 6 players. But then, I think a team like Kakamega Homeboys were high-rated, they were doing so well.
Of course.
And I would have expected to get a player maybe from Kakamega Homeboys, you know. And thank you so much, Director. And that's what you expect to see. So do you think that is a flaw from the coaching side? Because when a team is on form, it means that the players have morale. Yes. So you at least call at least a player from there. FC was doing well.
Of course.
Kakamega Homeboys, as I mentioned. So at least a single player or two from them maybe would have brought that aspect of different quality, because if you're going to get a good number of players from Gor Mahia, which means they bring about the spirit of Gor Mahia in the team. That's what I believe by myself. So, and that's why a section of fans were bringing this after the loss of the 8-0 loss. Some players were speaking like it was a Gor Mahia team that went there, you know. To avoid such narrative, do you feel like the coach maybe should have called some of these players from these other teams?
Yeah. Apparently, he should have, because I believe that you can't leave out a team like Kakamega Homeboys, you can't leave out a team like FC Level, because you can't also leave a team like Nairobi United.
True.
You can't also leave a team like Nairobi United, because all of these players have been playing so well, especially if you see all their games, they have been playing so well and everything. They deserve a call-up. Of course, they deserve a call-up. But I don't know what happened. Maybe the coach was trying to send a message, or maybe he felt that maybe they wouldn't have as much impact as maybe they would have, or maybe he had, let's say, maybe he had a factor of Gor Mahia maybe he is more overlooking the team, because hata ningetaka tu kusema tu kitu tu moja tu ndogo tu labda, maybe aliona tu Gor Mahia tu maybe ndio kwa sasa ndio inaongoza in everything, na maybe Nairobi United, he hasn't been seeing it playing kwa kucheza international, but Nairobi United have been awesome
and they have amazing
players. And also like to say FC also had been well, of course they have been winning their games and everything. It's only recently that they
lost a game, and now they've been doing the last ones.
They've been drawing the last ones, which means that they have been having an awesome run.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then Kakamega Homeboys, remember they were the ones who were number 1.
By then,
position.
True.
Yeah. So if those teams were not, if some of the players from those teams were not called, that adds a question mark. Why? Why? Do they lack the quality that maybe the coach is looking for, or maybe do they lack the commanding power, or maybe the presence of what maybe he feels the team spirit needs to be like? So
and there's something Cynthia says here, and someone watching. It's possible that chance success for Kenya blinded us on the performance ya Stars. We need to open our eyes. The performance against Senegal and Seychelles is demanding. Do you think you support her because we did so well in Chan? So do you think that winning blinded us? Because you have a very good team.
Yes and no. But I'd also like to say that what really made us win in Chan is because there was a proper motivation. You remember the coach, the president used to promise us 1 million. If you win 1 million, each and every player gets $1 million, and play for $1 million, and kill for $1 million right now. Look at this economy. So for me, I believe maybe if the players maybe were given like proper motivation, an incentive, of course, an incentive, a proper incentive. Yes, I know you're being called up, you're praying for nationality and everything, but you need to have some pride at least. You need to have some dignity. When you're losing, at least lose with honor. At least lose a 1-0 game, like the way we lost with Equatorial Guinea. At least shows you have some essence, but you can't lose disgustingly against Senegal like 8. We've never seen a score match that bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this issue of giving out incentives by the president. Some quarters feel like it is what brought a big problem to the team, because when people get used, people, if people look at the national team as a place whereby they can play and get $1 million, and then it turns out that in a particular game they don't get that $1 million, it kills their morale. So do you think this incentive is destroying the football ama ni ginajenga?
And then that really calls out to wachezaji wanalipwaje pia. Wachezaji pia wanalipwaje. Juu unajua pia we cannot also blame the players for wanting money, because you know at the end of the day they are playing a career and everything, and they also deserve pay. I can't blame them. I can't blame them, because you see, if there is a proper incentive, they see, now there's something to play for here. But it also boils down on if they are called, is there also like a proper payment that they're usually given? Is there also like delayed payment? You should also ask ourselves things like that, because you know it's si kupenda kwao, nani saizi ndio pesa. Let's be real, nani saizi ndio pesa. And also there is that calling of venye tu umesema hiyo kuitwa watu watakuwa wanaitwa tu kwenda kuchezea 1 million. Sasa you have to play. Literally you have to play. You have to play so well so that you have to be called. Because right now if you can't play like your life depends on it, don't come.
Definitely.
Don't come. Don't come. Yeah.
Nataka hiyo uzalendo. So play it's an honor to don that national team badge on your chest. It is an honor. So if at all the issue of money is what about the bad performances, then there's something wrong with the football, because such matches are the matches to expose your talent outside there. Because I'm in my own thinking, I feel like the players have ambitions. They're just not looking like playing in the Sportpesa Premier League is the ultimate achievement. They're looking at playing outside. So every time you get a chance to don that national team jersey, be an ambassador of yourself. Sell yourself out there. Play good football so that other teams from outside can be played. Especially in a game that you play in a foreign soil. That's where you seal your fate. You know, so I feel like the players would have done much. Of course, Senegal is a good side. Everybody knows about Senegal. They're the champions of Africa, of course. They're defending champions. They're a very good side. The last time we played against them before this, they beat us 3-0. Yeah. So this is even worse. This was a very bad performance, and I hope we learn from that and improve on areas we needed to improve in that particular match, so that the next time we meet a team of such caliber or even the same team, we can see an improvement in it. Try to beat them. Come on, 8-0 is a very. I've never imagined in my lifetime I'll get to see my team being beat 8-0. It was difficult for me. I didn't even watch that game. It was difficult for me. And I hope we learn a lot from that and maybe improve on that. So I hope going forward, we have understood the importance of including the foreign players, the experienced players to come and play in our league. So we are going to take a very 1 minute break. When we come back, we'll be talking now about the Sportpesa Premier League. So don't go far.
We had Bidco United who drew, Bangi Sharks drew 1-1 against the FC Leopards. Moranga Seal drew 1-1 against Shabana FC, and then in the next few minutes, 5 minutes I believe, Sofapaka are going to be playing against Trinity Stars.
So those are the weekend results of the FKF Premier League. And because of time, we're just going to brush off on that front very quickly because of time. And some selected teams, of course, are tuongelea zote. Let's start from Gor Mahia against Tusker, one of the biggest game of the weekend, a game that had promised a lot of action and a lot of, and of course the results came as they came. Shocking as they are, I didn't expect Gor Mahia to come out of this fixture with a clean sheet. Yeah. I didn't, because this is Tusker. It's one of the teams that we expect to be fighting for the league. So what can you say about, let us start from Rodney. It's your team, won against Tusker. So what can you say about this particular game and generally about the outcome of the game?
I think, as you said, going into that game, I did not expect it to be the result that we got. I did not expect Gor Mahia to get that clean sheet. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was a good result for Gor Mahia. Obviously, they've gone back to the top of the league now to cement their position. Still only a point ahead, but it's a good win for them. Only a bit controversial, the goal that Tusker conceded, but I think that's something that we have to talk about. There have been a few controversial goals this season, especially in the last few games, but then again, at the end of the day, it was a win for Gor Mahia. Tusker FC could have easily gotten back into the game, because that was only 7 minutes into that fixture. So good one for Gor Mahia, and then it's now up to them to maintain the performance in the games.
Let us go to Rivaldo. You're also a Gor Mahia fan, and a proud one at that, because I see from your face as you speak, as Remy speaks about it, I can see the smile. It shows that you're happy about the results. What can you say about Gor Mahia? And what does this say about Gor Mahia? Do you think Gor Mahia, with this projection that they are having this season, do you think they can win the league now?
Of course we can. Of course we can, because I don't see any threat so far. Maybe Kakamega Homeboys might stop us, but I am not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, because at the moment, Gor Mahia has been winning their games. They've been having a nice and awesome run. If you cannot something about it, if you cannot something about Gor Mahia, each and every game that they start, they score in the first half. Each and every game they start, they score in the first half, and that really tells you a lot. It shows that they have energy. They want to go for it.
Yeah.
They want to see the victory as easily as possible. Yes, when it reaches maybe the 80th minute, they might get a bit tired and everything, but as you can see, the defensive line, Kibwage, who leads them, it's quite awesome. How the defensive line, they don't concede easily. They keep clean sheets game after game after game. To score them is nearly impossible. So I think, we have a shot at it.
Yes, that is a very optimistic man there with his team. Let's talk about Tusker, Manu, for you on your side. Let's listen to Gor Mahia. Do you think this one kills the idea that Tusker can be a challenge to the title race?
I think when you look, first of all, at that goal, how they conceded the goal, it's something that maybe can make their morale go down, because we can say, well, Gor Mahia winning the game, and they are at a good place right now. But if you look at also Tusker's progress, we talk about how they have started the season. They haven't started the season in a good way, inconsistent results, not getting the wins. But after that first international break we had, they started picking up results, whether it's draws, or they started getting the wins, like back to back. Now, this is a rejuvenated side, a strong team that we also expect Tusker to be at that level of title race team. But now, if you look at this game that we had, it was a game that was maybe equal, because Gor Mahia is a team that is strong right now, and they are looking at the top position. And Tusker also, they want to be at that position too. So it was a win-win, like any team could have won. So it took maybe one team to make a mistake or slip up, because these are two strong teams, and unfortunately it was Tusker's side. But I believe Tusker, besides that goal or the performance they had or the result they got, I still think Tusker are in a good position if they continue with the spirit that they rejuvenated, and not take this loss to heart, because if you look, it was just that only goal they conceded and they lost, but it's still a strong side, and if the coach continues with the momentum and Yameset for the team, I think they can still pose problems at the top title race.
Definitely, and we're looking forward to that, because we need that competition at the top. And another team that I feel like we should talk about is the Homeboys, because it has come into the picture as a team that can fight for the title. Just some 3 weeks ago, they were sitting at the top position. Of course, Gor Mahia happened, but of course they won this crucial game against Posta Rangers, a team that is very stubborn. If you know the Sportpesa Premier League, you know Posta Rangers are a very stubborn team, especially when it comes to these teams that we feel like they're top teams, you know. And now they won comfortably with a two-nil goal margin. Can we still put Kakamega Homeboys in the title race conversation, Rodney?
Yes, we definitely can, in as much as they are only a point behind. And I think they've started the season quite well, and they've bounced back from the loss they suffered last time, and now they've come to win this game, and they've sort of positioned themselves right behind Gor Mahia. Obviously, Gor Mahia have a few games in hand, but then again, it's about winning the games that you already have, the games that you're playing at the moment. I think Kakamega Homeboys have proven themselves this season that they are in a position to compete against Gor Mahia and even the other teams, that they're in a position to compete to win the league this season. So it's definitely one of the teams to keep their eyes on.
Do you have the same sentiments, Rivaldo?
I'd give it a maybe, because the game against Posta Rangers, the man I really noticed a lot was Roger Zouma. There's something that I really noticed in him. Apart from also scoring, he was also going back, defending, also having clearances as well. That really tells a lot about a team. Because if one player can show that, it really shows this fighting spirit. So I believe that maybe Kakamega Homeboys might cause an upset, but I don't think Gor Mahia will be shaken.
You don't think at all? It's a very convicted person here. When people are talking about these teams and your team, Posta Rangers, Police FC, it's like it's running away from the conversation. Let us see how it performed in this.
Got a win.
Of course, it got a win. Let's talk about Kenya Police coming from the Champions League matches, dropping out in the initial stages, and now coming out to concentrate on the local league. Of course, Police won, and it was a good performance. 1-0 against Mathare United. And Mathare United, of course, another stubborn team, and team that I think it beat. Your team ilipiga siku hapo kastuka bebe. Kakamega Homeboys ilipiga Kameza vibaya sana. Now you won against Mathare United. Of course, you're supposed to be considered in the conversation of the title race. Do you think you made it in that conversation?
I still do think they are in that conversation because I feel like wakiwa Champions League walikuwa na like pressure of concentrating on both the league, the Champions League, but right now the fact that now they have now can focus on the Sport Pesa League, they can now get results game per game, and the most important thing is just winning your games. They've had shaky results also because of what I've just said, being in the Champions League and also focusing on the Sport Pesa League. But right now, this win against Mathare United can kickstart their back-to-back performances if they want to be in that conversation, the top spot. Because right now, as we look at the table, Gor Mahia washachukua top spot, and we usually know wakishaingia hiyo zone, tunasemanga GGs ama kitu kai, but right now kuna a lot of competition. We have teams emerging. We have Kakamega Homeboys right now. We have just talked about them. We had Kenya Police last season. They bought the brilliant season and they won the league. And if they continue with that momentum and just get the 3 points each and every game, I was taking pressure at Isas into the champions holders. So can we back to back with Kaizo and Gor Mahia right now are on form? Just concentrate on your matches, get the wins as they deserved. He win against Mathare United was fully deserved, and even if it was a slender 1-0 lead, the 3 points do matter, and it just helps at keeping the momentum alive and just keeping the spirits alive for Kenya Police.
Thank you so much, and at least you're positive about your team. I'm not, sadly, and that's the team we're talking about next. That is FC Leopards, with the continuation of the drawing form, losing important points in some crucial matches. Because I feel like before this weekend, it was sitting at position 3. Right now, I think it's position 4-5. I think.
Yes.
And FC Leopard is one of the big teams. We say that every day, and I think I'm getting tired of saying that because it's like right now you're turning into a mid-table team, and we are comfortable in it because FC Leopard is dropping quite a number of points. Now it is like 3 draws in a row, 4 in total, in only I think how many matches? Is it 10 matches? 9 matches actually. How do you get 4 draws in 9 matches? That, of course, lost 1 and won 3. Let's talk about FC Leopards. Rival, let's start from you. What can you say about FC Leopards and their chances of maybe trying to be in that conversation of the title race?
It's the inconsistency for me because I really don't know if there is a winning trend right now or if when you started off, you guys were up basic. And then you started drawing. Now you're losing. I don't know whether in the next game you'll lose or win. But as a derby rival, which will have our derby, I don't know if much will open up for you, because if we put things now at hand, the things usually are. Let's just talk things as real. Let's put them out there. Per se, I'd like to say FC has great players, amazing players. No offense, has great players, but it all comes down to the play. Like, okay, your recent loss. Maybe it was your defense, maybe it was your midfield, maybe it was you guys not attacking well. I don't know what's up, but FC has a huge amount of fans.
Exactly.
You see, it has a good backing from the fans and everything. But you keep on drawing, you're disappointing your fans and everything, then it all comes down to shida iko wapi. Shida iko wapi kutoka kwa players. So I'm giving an ish, but maybe you might go back to your winning ways, but I don't know when.
In such a situation, of course, we need to get someone to blame, because at the end of the day, a problem happens because somebody dislikes it in some play.
Of course.
Yes, a problem happens. We see a problem after somebody is sleeping on the job. Man, what do you think? Who do you blame the players? Do you blame the coach? Because you cannot blame the board, because you've not heard of cases of maybe late payment for the players' salaries. So, tumetoa hapo kabisa. So, who are we to blame here? Do we blame the coach? Do we blame do they need a change of guard in the technical bench?
I think they need some type of change, because this type of consistency that we're talking about nika imeendelea right now for like 2 seasons back and beyond, because this is the same things that we've been talking about like 2 seasons ago, last season, sahi tuko hii season na bado tunaona the same things. And you know, kitu yenye nauma ni when it matters, when they need that win, they just don't get the win. Like he draw, like unapata the way walienda nyuma, like very avoidable. Of course they were able to get a goal back na waliweza kushikilia tu hiyo 1-1 uzuri kwa loss, but still a team kaliba ya AFC Leopards na the heritage yenye iko nayo, hatufai kuwa tunaona results kama hizo every time, sana when it's needed. Like a game unaona this is a comfortable win for AFC Leopards, they get a draw. Few games back, I think it was Posta Rangers, na tumeongelea Posta Rangers ni team inasumbua sana. They waliweza tu, as in AFC Leopards nafunga, and then on a slip up to in the defense. Either they are set pieces, our man mark, or like two, I think it's the play. Tactically, also the coach has to take blame, because now he's the one who's setting the tactics out there. And if ukiangalia these goals out there conceded, I think focus, for me naweza sema focus, maybe you know better, but as how nimeangalia these games, maybe the defense isn't well. Like ukiangalia hiyo bao yenye wali concede ya Kariobangi Sharks, very avoidable, kitu inge, even the goalkeeper should have done better. So it's something too, it's not clicking either in the defense or midfield, because Rivaldo amesema tu vizuri, you have good players. The issue, it's the play yenye iko hapo tu mbele. So I think the coach has to change something about the technical area, because this is a team that needs to compete with Gor Mahia as hapo juu. Yeah.
And just my cousin is watching. Thank you so much, Frank, for watching. I mean, thank you so much, Frank. Talking about these goals that maybe are quick and be questionable, these easy goals that people are conceding, I want to take you back into Gor Mahia. Again, Gor Mahia against Tusker. I forgot it, and I have to mention it because there are some quotas who say that such goals maybe they're deliberate. Because that was a very silly goal. Did you watch that goal that Gor scored against Tusker? And akanyaga nyoka, it was a back pass. Rafa akanyaga nyoka ilipita. So do you think? Look at it. I'm trying to get a better way of saying this word without sounding like I'm trying to push a narrative here. But though I've had some whispers, because our work as media people is to speak the truth. There's some quota of fans who are saying that the goalkeeper deliberately let that goal in because of I hate to say this, but I feel like Gor Mahia predominantly is considered a Nyanza, a club from Nyanza, because the biggest supporters come from there. And it so happens that the Tusker goalkeeper comes from the same region. So there were some people who were saying that there's a possibility that goalkeeper let in that goal because maybe Kondandani ni shabiki wa Gor Mahia. We assume that because of course it's a narrative here. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that some fans were saying that. Do you think that can be a possibility? Reddy?
I watched that goal. I'd like to give the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt and say it was a mistake. Mistakes happen, but if you look at whatever happened, the ball was moving very slowly, and it was quite a distance from where the ball was passed.
Yeah.
So you have a few questions. What exactly was happening? But then again, I'm not trying to assume that is whatever is happening in our league, because it has been a repeating trend. It's not just this game. We've seen a few matches back, a few questionable things happening, and I think things like this happening in our league are going to reduce the quality of our league. It's not a very good look for our league, because if we're now getting to a point of, let's say, match fixing, because basically that's what it is. It ruins the quality of our league.
Yeah,
it's
true.
not a good look to others who might be trying to watch in. Yeah. Who might be watching whatever is going on in our league.
Yeah, definitely. Because I looked at that goal and I felt like I don't hate Gor Mahia. I don't support it either. But from my view, what do you think? What did you think? Okay, from a fan view, not from a Gor Mahia fan.
Okay. I'm from a fan.
You look nice.
I'm also a huge. I have been a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I played as a goalkeeper. What I'd like to say is, if I nimecheza kama goalkeeper, if my defenders don't tell me they're going to pass me the ball, and my concentration is not there, they will score me. I will not lie to you. Watanifunga. So maybe it was miscommunication, because maybe aliachilia, maybe his mind was not there, maybe his mind was kuangalia if there's someone is coming for the ball or something of the sort. But I'd also like to give to the point of that's a bit silly. A keep of that caliber, it's a bit silly. A keep of that caliber, it's a bit silly.
Very silly.
Because Tusker, they have not been okay. They started the league a bit off and everything, but they play. The goalkeeper has been playing and everything. That's a bit silly for me, because he's a keeper who has played higher standard games.
Yeah,
of course. But I'd also like to give in to maybe the defenders maybe the midfield did not or something, communication and everything. And then I'd also like to give, if Tusker really wanted a win and everything, they could have been dominant in the game.
Yeah.
Because Gor Mahia defended so impressively.
Yeah.
If you watch the entire game,
yeah,
Gor Mahia defended so impressively. So maybe one goal or maybe everything, but a win is a win. Take it as it is.
We take it as it is because, of course, after the final whistle, we can change nothing. That's just football. And I would really want to ask the fans, what did you feel about, if you have not watched that game, if you didn't watch that game, go and look at that goal. I would really want to hear your view about that particular goal. And so I want to say something, but of course, and I also want to believe that it was just a mistake that happened, not deliberately, because at the end of the day, if you're playing for a team, it doesn't matter whether I'm an FC Leopard fan, yes, but as long as I play for a different team, I'm supposed to fight for my team because I'm earning a salary from that particular team, and that's professionalism. And I want to believe the same. Was with the goalkeeper. And let us stop this kuongea inaleta shida kubwa hapa hivi, manake unajua it is Kenya, and we know such talks can bring a very big division. With that, I want us to take a very short break. When we come back, now we'll be jumping on to the English Premier League. So don't go very far. We'll be back in a short while. Kutoka di commitment kidogo lakini we are here English Premier League, sorry. Karibu niangushe mambo mbaya hapa. Naona Frank amesema jana, kuna mtu amesema hapa hivi, acha nisikie. Anaitwa Franklin. That is my brother. Anasema another day for disappointment. Man U lose again as the strongest blue fan. Si hata umeona Chelsea itabeba hii ligi. It is obvious Arsenal ni team ya next season. Number 2 Pro Max. Don't beat above your, don't go beyond what you can. Don't chew beyond what you can. You can swallow. Sawa. Chelsea in the league no way. Another comment here I have. Naona pia Cynthia alikuwa amesema aje. There's a comment about by Cynthia here. Acha nipate. There's a comment by Cynthia alisema aje. Asema we cannot qualify and perform at AFCON this way. McCarthy is a good coach. I trust in him. That was about Harambee Stars. And I see Marcos Martin saying he's watching. And also I would also want to hear you talk about that Gor Mahia goal. Mimi I have my reservations of course, but I would want to hear about you say something about it. What do you make of that? Do you think it was deliberate from the goalkeeper? Or it was just a mistake that happened unknowingly? Ningependa kusikia your comments about that. Now, let's jump ship now to the English Premier League. And Manu, do you have the results for the games?
Yes, I do have the results. Just a minute, I just opening, but the results. As I said, my offense saying Arsenal versus.
Come on.
Anyway, we'll get into that. I'm excited.
I know. We understand.
Let's start with the first game of match 12. Ilikuwa Burnley versus Chelsea, and Chelsea won comfortably 2-0 win versus Burnley, and then we came into Gold Rush, and the first game of the Gold Rush was Bournemouth versus West Ham. It ended on a 2-2 draw. Brighton versus Brentford, in which Brighton won convincingly 2-1 against Brentford. Fulham won against Sunderland 1-0. And then the game that made a lot of people smile was Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest, in which Nottingham Forest won 3-0 against Liverpool. My goodness. And then we have Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Wolves won, Crystal Palace won 2-0 against Wolves. And then Newcastle versus Man City, another controversial game in which Newcastle won against Man City 2-1 in favor of Newcastle. We come into Sunday, which was yesterday. We had Leeds United versus Aston Villa, and Aston Villa won against Leeds with a scoreline of 2-1. And then now the heavyweight main event of the whole weekend was the North London derby, which was Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. And no surprise here, Arsenal won convincingly with the scoreline of 4-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. And then, of course, today we have Manchester United versus Everton, which will be coming later today at 11 p.m. Yes.
Those were the results in as far as the English Premier League is concerned this past weekend. And in the extension to today, whereby Manchester will be playing in the evening. Now, let's go from the match, the match that opened up the league after the international break. Burnley against Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea won. This is a game that I feel like, okay, it was a weekend that was filled with upsets, but of course Chelsea was not one of them. And what do you make of Chelsea winning this game? Right now they sit comfortably at the second position. Of course, briefly, as we all know, but what do you make of them winning and maybe finding themselves into those positions? You know, from my side, I don't think Chelsea is a very strong side. I don't think it's a strong side. It has a large squad, but not a strong squad as compared maybe to Arsenal or maybe Man City. But it is doing the unthinkable, whereby it is finding itself in very good positions, positioning itself in a place whereby maybe they can be in the title race conversation. And this is the Chelsea. You know, Chelsea has never had a good squad since the times of Terry, but they have been winning, and that's what we see. Maybe that's what are we seeing a repeat of that this season, Rodney?
I think, judging from that game, it was a good win for them. obviously now that they got the 3 points, but it wasn't
a fully strong squad, to be honest. That's why unapata this game Garnacho anaanza, this other game Gittens anaanza, this other game Mara center back partnership imechangiwa. So those are the things, like kuna some positions zenye unapata it's still not yet convincing for Chelsea. Like the left wing, let's just be honest, like Garnacho, Gittens, like the coach Maresca bado hajapata the person that will be either starting at that left side. We know that the forward line, of course Pedro Neto asha identify himself at that right wing. He's been brilliant at the start. Now issue ni when Dilap got an injury and now he's trying to fix that striking position with Pedro. Of course we know Pedro can play at that role, but unapata is trying something out. And of course Delap amerudi, so amerevert back to ile style ya Delap at the striking position and Joe Pedro at the number 10. Of course Palma is out, I think back next year. But unapata iyo place. Also pia Palma kwa nje might be also contributing. But your left wing, I feel like it's not convincing. So that could be an issue. Now for Burnley side, I think Burnley have a decent squad. For me, I feel like they can pose a threat to these heavy big six teams, or maybe we can say the strong sides, because they are not like Wolves. Sorry to say, they are not like Wolves. Like they have a decent squad. They have even if it's not like a fully strong squad like Chelsea and Mesema, they have players that can lead in that squad. Players like Walker who have experience in the Premier League, Ugochukwu are brilliant. Yeah, so, and also Anthony Fleming, keeper like Dubravka. That's a decent squad. But maybe if they can't nearly to form, maybe they are not in good form. Scott Parker Pia, is shaky maybe in the tactics zake, because this is a team that has good players in it. But I stand with what I've said for Chelsea. And I think it will be evident tukiwacheza next weekend. So I've just said something that I've just come to justify next weekend. Yeah. So and I hope Teddy will be here, because Teddy kila time anashinda kusema atakuja. Actually hii show ndo angekuja cause wameshinda. That's what he does. But I think we will know better when we play them at the weekend, because that will now be a test, because we are up there now, wako number 2. So yeah, it'll justify more about Chelsea when we play them at the weekend.
True, and this a Chelsea fan, Franco jamani, Franco ni fan wa Chelsea by the way. Anasema bwana, that was not our strong squad, and we agree. We agree. That's what we are saying. Because that's what we are saying. Because I feel like Maresca rested most of the players for the next game, and the fact that they were coming from the international break and they had participated in the international games, I think it was just good. It was good for them to rest a little bit, because the game that comes after that is a very strong game for them, and I hope. I'm not going to say that. Na nasema kwamba Arsenal ilikuwa pale jika basiki yako. Hakuna kitu hapo. Sasa nikuambia tu kweli, hakuna no sugar coating here. This is the scoreboard. That is what we want. That is what we get from the scoreboard. Hapa namna gani? Ni kweli tu kifuatana. Let's talk about Crystal Palace. Another team that I feel like should always be in this conversation. Should always be, because it is one of the teams that has come after Glasner. It's one of the teams that is doing so well for themselves. I'm not saying for the league maybe, but for themselves they are doing so well. And it's a team that I feel like is going to upset and shock so many people from this season going upwards if they continue with the same pace. And luckily enough, or good enough, they won against Wolves. Of course, everybody's winning against Wolves, but still it's a win, come on. And Crystal Palace. Can you say something about Crystal Palace and their chances, of course, and how good they are doing for themselves this season?
I think they've been a great team. Obviously, credit to Glasner, but not just him. I think the team overall have been performing very, very well. You've seen them playing in the FA Cup, winning against Liverpool, and even winning last season the FA Cup. I think we've seen them qualifying for Europe last season, that is. And I think they're eyeing something similar this season. Maybe the Champions League, but I think they'll be trying to qualify for one of the positions in Europe. And I think credit to each and everyone who's at Crystal Palace. They've been overperforming, in my own perspective. I think when you look at Crystal Palace, you don't expect them to see them in that position, but you see them going up against the big teams. Look at Liverpool, the likes of Manchester United, the likes of Chelsea, and they are trying to cement their position as one of the, let me say, top 6. Because at the moment they're sitting 5th, and in as much as there's still Manchester United who have not played, but they're in a very, very good position at the moment, even though it's just early days into the league.
Definitely, and I'm really looking forward to what they're going to achieve this season, because I feel like I'm developing a soft spot for them. I'm not saying I support them, I'm just saying.
Crystal Palace met up Liverpool twice.
Yeah, it has.
Already.
Exactly. It has.
That clearly tells you what kind of a team Crystal Palace is. And just to add, maybe the issue ilikuwa, maybe they could have had some injuries, because when you're going to do the international break, Goi maybe ilikuwa doubt. Pia Mateta, na maybe ingeshake. But I think Goi returning to the starting lineup and Mateta also playing, it shows the decency in the squad. And this midfielder, Wharton, he's really balling at that midfield. So that's a decent squad. And the perfect formation, like to fit the right players in every position. I think Glasner is doing a good job with that formation. So kudos to him as well. Yeah,
kudos to him and the whole Crystal Palace fraternity. I don't know of any Crystal Palace fan around me, but I know the ones in England, of course, they're happy with the team. And one thing I love about them is the fact that they're using the same formation that Manchester is using, and they're getting they're getting the best out of it, and that's what. And I love it so much. And I feel like Amorim should be looking at what Crystal Palace is doing to turn down something, one or two things. Let's talk about a game that shocked so many other Liverpool game against Nottingham Forest. I'm a happy man because, of course, I hate Liverpool. That one, I don't hide that. I hate Liverpool because I'm supposed to hate it anyway. So let us talk about Liverpool losing to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest that is not a team that I can say is that strong for this season, especially after losing some of the notable players. And a team that started so bad in the season, but now you see they drew against Manchester United. I think it gave them a morale. Now they beat Liverpool, a team that was considered, of course, the defending champions, of course. Is Nottingham Forest good or Liverpool is just bad this season?
I think there's only one answer to that question. Liverpool have been terrible this season, because if at the moment they have lost, is it 6 games this season?
Yeah.
Obviously that puts them out of the title race contention, because statistically whoever wins the Premier League cannot have lost more than 6 games, and they've lost 6 already, so they're out of the title race. And for a team that won the Premier League last season, spent around 500 million coming into this season, and now they're sitting 11th in the league. It's not a very good position for Liverpool. And obviously you look at the team and you're wondering, the coach hasn't changed. Obviously they've brought in a few players, and they're elite players, not just any players. They've brought in Isak, who was one of the top scoring strikers in the league last season. They brought in Kakes, who was performing very well at Bournemouth. Florian Wirtz from Bayern Leverkusen, but for some weird reason they're completely underperforming at Liverpool. And you look at the team, you look at the manager, you wonder where the problem is, but it's a very tough position to be as Liverpool, and even as a Liverpool fan. For their opponents, however, I think if you looked at the fixture on paper, it seemed like Liverpool would have gotten an easy win. But contrary to whatever we believed, I think Nottingham Forest were very, very good. Liverpool obviously started quite well, but the moment Nottingham Forest scored, they completely put the pressure on Liverpool and eventually got the win at the end of the day. So kudos to Nottingham Forest.
Definitely kudos to Nottingham Forest. Manu, 3-0 is a very big margin for a team like Liverpool to lose from, especially at Anfield. You know, nobody counts all the points in Anfield and all that shenanigans. I think Manchester did rub that already for the season. So anybody who loses at Anfield, it's a joke, huh? Now,
nakatu hapa tunafikirianga like niaje Arsenal atukupiga Liverpool and they already have 6 losses. Now we aren't among those losses like against Liverpool.
In fact, we're one of the most recent wins. I'm a comfortable wins against a big team. So sad.
It was just a free kick, but anyway, they are just shaky. I think I just said their defense. I think your defense partnership here. Konate na Van Dijk
is not working.
Exposed. I think too mambo ya contract situations. Ya Van Dijk, Konate, you know, Konate alikuwa attracted to another move, but stayed, and now it's exposing kinda. But now it's up to the manager because you've assembled all the world-class players in your team. You've brought them at a very high transfer fee. Look at
it is a good team.
In a already established team Shash in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Now after shower later, like 150M, 120M, and now they look like a shadow of their former self. So it's now up to the manager. You can't. Okay, maybe you can say these players they have been brought at a higher fee. They have to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's why you are being called a world-class player, because you can make a difference. Even if the coach's tactics are zingiani, you can just come out with something and make a difference. These players aren't making a difference. You look up to Salah, who maybe has to carry this team. He's carried this team for
quite some time.
Sahi mgongo yake inaanza kuumia kidogo, because now the age is catching up. So the coach now has to make some adjustments and make these players click, manze, because they have quality in them. So, and for Nottingham, manze, that's very big for them, like statically, like stats. Wamewachapa back to back at Anfield.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And in this time, it's convincing. 3-0. That's crazy. And now kudos to them, because now they can capitalize.
And kudos to Gibbs White. I think he was phenomenal in that particular game. And I
think they said when Shondech alikuja, the dressing room changed, and now they can play with that freedom. And when Ange alikuwa, it was a bit colder. So I think when Shondech alikuja, and you can just see the expression from the players. So na inaingia sasa kwa the performances. So kudos to Nottingham.
Of course, Shondech, one coach that I don't like. I don't even like his voice.
Haram.
Newcastle versus Man City, another match that shocked people this weekend. Man City, a team that maybe we had considered. You know, there's this saying that we say about Man City that when it comes to close to maybe clinching the title, especially in the second position, they don't lose a game. But that was cancelled this weekend where they lost. Come on, they lost to Newcastle. Newcastle is not even doing so well this season. Mixed performances here and there, mixed results that is. But winning against Man City, or Man City losing to Newcastle at this juncture, whereby they're looking at maybe trying to chase Arsenal in the bags. Now, it's a 7-point margin. Is it 7 points? Which means, I think it's 7, if I'm not wrong. 7-point margin. So which means Arsenal is gone. It's not gone already, but it's going because Arsenal are winning their games. It's becoming too hard for you to watch Arsenal right now. But what does this do for Man City, Rodney? Losing this particular game at this particular juncture?
I think it was a disappointing result for Man City. This was a game that ideally they should have won to at least close down that gap between them and Arsenal, but unfortunately for them, they were unable to capitalize on it. I think Newcastle were very impressive in how they defended. They defended very, very well in the entire game. I think the moment Man City scored, I sort of felt like they could have come back into that game, but Newcastle scored immediately after, and I knew that's gone for them. But credit to Newcastle. For Man City, it's a chance for them to go back to the drawing board. I think they had started building up on momentum, but now it's gone back. They've been taken back down to reality, but all hope is not lost. I think it's still early in the Premier League. There's still a lot of fixtures to come, so anything could happen. I'm not going to write them off from the title race.
Manu, what does this result do to Newcastle United? Do you think it gives them the morale not to fight even more? Because they have had a time whereby they were not doing so well, and people I had started writing them off. So what does this do to Newcastle from this particular game?
For me, I think Newcastle, now let me just say it honestly, like, mimi naona ni kama wanachezanga like reckless football ama specifically when they are at home. Unapata kuna ile they up the physicality, and I think you could see it in that Man City game. Yeah. That's why when nilikuwa nasoma the results nilisema Man City lost in a controversial way because they should have been, I think, awarded a penalty. I think he challenged Foden. I think his foot was taken. Like, this guy, I don't know what was the result, like Atimbona akupeana penalty, and you could even see from the reaction, Man City were frustrated, kabisa, like how that loss came. Of course, they can take the loss because Harvey Barnes was brilliant in that game. He could have, I think he could have scored a hat-trick. Yep. Harvey Barnes, like 4 goals. This guy was so brilliant. But ukiangalia how the decisions that were being made at that game, and it comes back to referees, unapata some decisions zinakuwa correct in one game, but in this other game, the same tackle or foul, it is not a foul because, well, the referee's difference, law, rules, all that. Back to refereeing. Still Premier League referees in their own thing. But now Newcastle, I think the wanachezanga rough football, physical. It was evidence hata tukiwacheza. So I think Man City, maybe they weren't prepared for the physicality, and also Newcastle at home, they are at their strongest. Yeah, so I think Man City, they can bounce back. This is nothing for Man City. Because it's frustrating, though it's nothing for Man City. They can bounce back. Maybe the problem, I had somebody trying to analyze Man City's performances when they're behind. Alikuwa anasema Man City shida ni they are still trying to play this cute football. Wanna try to play decent even if they are behind. That maybe could be something else. Like try switching up. Like you have to get a goal. Like you could draw at least. Just get out of the like ile normal tactic Haaland is a world-class player. Just change it up, So I think that was something else. Your cute football when you're behind still, but all in all, Man City, they can bounce back. They have a strong team. Manze, kama uko na Haaland at your team, what do you expect? So it's nothing for Man City. For Newcastle, I don't think this performance can justify their season. Like, they are inconsistent. Na nikisema hiyo wakicheza hizo mara football watakuwa exposed sooner. I think that's what I can say about Newcastle. Definitely, and I'm looking forward to see what Newcastle is going to do after this this great win that can serve as a morale going into the next games. Now, let's talk about now Arsenal because of time. Arsenal won convincingly, and this is one of the results that it was not a shock. It was not a shock to me at all because if you look from the history, Tottenham does not do well at Emirates or anywhere else against Arsenal. So it wasn't a shock out to me. My shock was the margin. The four goals are too much for this particular derby. It looks like a normal game. It's a derby. Manu, back to you. What do you expect? See, it's we dominate North London. That's nothing new. At a margin, it's nothing new. So for me, we won convincingly because of just this guy Eze. He was really brilliant. 5-star performance, hat-trick hero. He could have even scored a 4th goal and assisted a goal. Like this guy was like completely brilliant in that game. We can say Tottenham, I think Tottenham, they were just gassed up. this is a different derby. They'll say that every season. We have a strong team, new manager, Thomas Frank's first derby, but come on, it's always the same result. For Arsenal, I think it was a test still. It was still a test because now, after the international break, kuna venye inakuanga, we have to convince ourselves, like, we have a run of games, we have Bayern next, we have Chelsea. So it was a test. Even if it was a derby that we know tungeshinda, it was still a test. And we won convincingly. Eze, man of the match, 5-star. We have Trossard, who scored the first goal. Trossard has been very brilliant. Like, he has scored back-to-back goals. So kudos to him. He needs a shout-out. And I think the person that I can also shout-out ni Merino. Because after international break, talks ilikuwa, nani anarudi, Madueke, we have kina Jesus wamerudi training, kina Gyökeres, so and I think Merino bado alianza, and his link-up play ilikuwa very brilliant. Coming from the first goal, Niendo ali make up the assist. Ile bao ya nne the hat-trick for Eze, Niendo ali link up the wingers. So for me, I think Arsenal wamekuwa too brilliant. Keeping up that title race imekuwa fiti. Yenye tu nitafault Arsenal ni hawakukuja na clean sheet, and that goal that we conceded, manze,
super goal.
People are making memes of Raya manze venye aliruka. But all in all, we don't have negative vibes here. It's all about the positive vibes. We are still on top. We are creating margins. But acha tu nisi conclude nikisema tuta win the league, because I think we were still here 3 seasons ago and we bottled the league. So for me, I'll just enjoy the wins right now. Taking the wins back to back. Next is Chelsea, Bayern at the Champions League. Score depth inaanza kurudi. We are looking healthy right now. You can rest some players in the week for Bayern, and it's looking good. Arteta is shaping up the squad right now. Yeah.
Can't dispute that. Arteta is doing an amazing work this season, winning whatever way. He just gets a way of winning, and that's what that's the difference between the Arsenal of this season and any other Arsenal. Because in those crucial matches, they're getting a win, whether by a small margin, whatever way it means, they will win that game, and that maybe is something that they needed in the previous seasons to maybe try to win. I'm not saying they will win the league. I'm just saying if at all they win the league, if at all.
Hata mimi nimesema sita conclude if they win, because we've been there 3 seasons ago, like tuko December number 1, margin huge, but 10 games remaining, we bottled. So
exactly.
I won't conclude saying that we win the league.
Exactly.
But the signs are there. We have a decent squad, healthy kabisa. This is a treble winning squad. I can say that. But I won't say that we will win the league at the Champions League. Because manze, we've been through tough times, and I think I want to conclude.
I hope you continue having tough times, because nobody's ready for that noise.
Too bad.
Nobody's ready for that noise that comes as the result of Arsenal fans. But of course, whatever happens, I would really want to see, like I always say, I really want to see Arsenal win a league in my lifetime.
Get ready for a trip.
Because Raila never saw that in 80 years. Let's go to Manchester United. The game that we played today, today we have a game one game, of course, the last game of the weekend of this week. Manchester United against Everton. A very tough fixture, because in the previous game last season, it ended in a draw. But Everton has never been an issue for Manchester United at Old Trafford. If you look at the history, Manchester has been beating Everton with not less than 2 goals in this particular fixture. But this is a different Everton right now. Moy is a different animal for that matter, and he's building a team that is very competitive, a very strong team. Let us start with Ronnie. Ronnie, what do you think about this match coming up today?
I think it's definitely going to be a tough fixture, and I'm really looking forward to the team that Amorim is going to choose today, of course, because Sesko is out with injury.
Yeah.
We still have to see whoever he's going to prefer, maybe in the wing backs, because Dalot has not had the best of seasons this season. Cunha allegedly had an injury, but I saw he was at training yesterday, so I expect him to start. But I'm looking forward to the team that Amorim is going to select for today. Everton have been good-ish this season. Obviously not at the top of the league, but they have been decent in the fixtures that they've played. So it's not going to be an easy fixture. For Manchester United, they're obviously unbeaten in 5 games now.
Yeah.
2 back-to-back draws, but then again, I think it's a decent position for Manchester United, because if we are to win today, then we obviously go to fifth because Villa won yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that we do get the victory today.
Definitely, and rumors has it that maybe Martinez might come today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they will play, but he might be on the bench. I'm really looking forward to that, because I feel like this during the week, Amorim said something that maybe made me a little bit happy. He said that finally Shaw can play as a left wing back. It is something that I've been praying for quite some time, because I feel like Dogu and Diallo have not been doing justice to that role. And Shaw being there, who is very good offensively and defensively, both that, I think it can be a very formidable team with that guy playing behind him. So I'm really looking forward to that. Man, what do you think about this game and Manchester United as a whole right now?
For me, I think Manchester United, and this is real, Manchester Unajua sana zadhani I'm hating, but you know, we have to say things
as they are.
And right now, Manchester United, they look in a good position, like where they have come from, the squad that Amorim has built. For me, I think he has a decent squad. Like he's continuing to build. And ukiangalia build up hii game, mimi naona wao wakiwa favorites to win. Of course, at Old Trafford, watakuwa na the advantage. And the fact that now Sesko is out, still you have some names that can fill up. But Kuna Cunha can play at that position. But for me, I think I want to see Zaxi get some minutes. Because he proved himself a lot actually when the season was ending. Even year 2 Sesko came and he hasn't been the favorite. That is Zaxi. But I feel like I need to see Zaxi getting some minutes. I feel like that. But for me, tukimalizia, of course, I feel like Manchester United are the favorites. But of course, itakuwa hate watching, and we hope the result, any result that will come, tutaenda nayo. But being real, Manchester United are the favorites to win this game.
Let's finish up. Maliza because of time. Kuna 2 minutes kumaliza.
Yeah, of course. Leo siku ni hate watching. Manchester United if you lose, it will be the perfect weekend that we've had. Match week 12, hate watch successful. But anyway, thanks for watching. We will be giving you all the details of that game, and also the Champions League that will be happening this week. Yeah, stay tuned to Scoreboard. Follow EBN TV on all social media platforms, because we'll be giving you all these details, matters sports. So follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be here to give you all the details. So see you on the other side. Have a good week ahead. God bless you.
Ronnie?
Huge thank you to each and everyone who has tuned in this afternoon. Thank you to all our fans, all our viewers, all those who have commented online, and those who are silently watching on TV. Thank you for taking your time to join us this afternoon on the Scoreboard. See you next week, same time, same place. God bless you, and I hope we win today.
Thank you, Sona Rampage here. Says, anyway, Everton to beat, Everton to beat Man United. In short, Everton win. That's a bitter Chelsea fan.
I just have one for it's Teddy. Right?
No, it's called Frank.
Oh, Frank. I just have a message for Teddy. Teddy, could you scoreboard next week, please? Could you scoreboard next week, because lazima tuongee kama vijana hapa. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Manze kuja bana no see
whatever happens.
Whatever happens, hata mimi nikilose nitakuwa hapa. So please come.
Because of time, Rada Nambi says Chelsea shall be victorious come what come May. Following closely. Delusional. Well, I have nothing to say because of time. Just have a nice week. Thank you so much for everyone who has watched. We love you so much. See you next week, same place, same time. Goodbye.